Hi, everybody. Welcome to the TigerSox series for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. One of us is feeling a little more blue than the other, and it's not the one wearing the blue collar. Tony, would you like to explain why you're down in the dumps and why you're blue man today? Tigers. Tigers. I didn't realize this was going to be a silent. Okay.
Oh, okay, I'll talk. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Can you hear me out there?
Yeah.
That's not a game thing, by the way.
Oh, no. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Yeah. I think that's the correct eye as well. The left
I'm
eye.
too
It's pretty
white to
short.
be put
MS-13.
yeah. So yeah, the Tigers just since we've recorded an episode of TigerSox, the Tigers have basically folded tent and are hitchhiking down the road. So
Yeah.
in other words, they suck.
The Sox, the Sox are not exactly knocking them dead right now either.
Much more competitive and a much better team.
Well, yeah, okay, yes. As
And the
season
Royals,
goes.
his other team,
Well,
his
my other
hometown,
team, yeah,
they
they're actually starting to
they suddenly started
make up
winning.
for lost time. So
So I thought it'd be, appropriate to, yeah.
if we could have gotten licensing, we were actually
Ah.
going to come on with "I'm Blue, Abu Dhabi." But getting to the beer,
Oh yeah, we do have beer.
we do have
Don't
beer.
tune away. Don't
Yes,
tune out just
don't
yet.
tune out just yet. This is the New Glarus Stout from New Glarus Brewing out of Wisconsin. Where specifically in Wisconsin? New Glarus, Wisconsin. Okay. This was
Africa.
sent to us by our good friend Chris Leland, Mr. Gone V6 on Instagram. Check him out on Instagram if you are an Instagram follower. Takes great photos, usually in his kitchen. Has a great selection of beers, though. Really good guy. Sent me this beer as well as a couple more. In fact, the next two reviews you see from us are going to be from the package that Chris sent us. And so now that I've thanked Chris, I do sincerely thank you, Chris.
Yes,
I'm going
we
to
both did.
lambast the brewer a little bit. We have neither ABV nor brewed on date.
Yeah.
And those who watch the program regularly know that I am not happy when I see a brewer not putting ABV on a beer. I think it's really irresponsible to not do that, quite frankly. And there we go. Shame, shame, shame. But according to Untapped, this beer does have a 6.2 ABV. Chris tells me
And their
that,
website didn't contain
and that's
that.
right. And their website doesn't give you the information. You can go to the website, you actually click on a link for this specific beer, and still there's no ABV listed. Untapped, as I
Not
said,
cool.
does list it as a 6.2. And Chris says that New Glarus is mostly known for their awesome fruit beers, but the stout isn't too bad. He gave this a 4.0 on Untapped, and the overall score for this beer on Untapped is 3.72. So there you have it. And Tony's going to, he's emerged. He's
I realize I have to smell
there's a
beer.
Tiger fan under there.
I have to smell a beer here in a minute.
Indeed.
I can't use my eyes.
But it says this dark stout is a hearty and satisfying reward for those who embrace the frozen tundra. Uncut oatmeal fresh from Chilton, Wisconsin. Gives this stout a sink into its smoothness, slides into its depth. Handcrafted English chocolate and Wisconsin Victory malt combine to
Sounds
balance
good.
this robust ale. Expect this ale to pour a luxurious head over a rich black ruby body. The powerful malt bouquet will greet you as you tip the silky smoothness from your glass. Oatmeal stout is handcrafted in the time-honored tradition, served just below room temperature, and relaxed road construction season will return soon. So this is actually just under,
It sounds tasty.
just
I
below
mean,
room temperature, I would say, wouldn't you? Right now, I think we've got it at
yeah,
the
this is
the
pretty
temperature
much
they
exactly room
described.
temperature beer. Yes. And also, for all you regular viewers, we are in my house at the kitchen in the dining room.
We are.
Because that garage right now is experiencing 111, 112 degrees
Something
today.
like that, yeah.
So
We're in a stretch of over 10 days where the temperature is over 110.
we've been hitting
So,
110 plus, yeah, for many,
mhm.
many days. And that garage is just, who can enjoy any beverage in that garage?
And yet, mostly what I hear about is
It's
cities
awful.
where it's even worse, like
Yeah,
Phoenix
yeah.
or
100 miles south here, Laughlin.
Laughlin.
It's getting
Exactly.
baked.
Yeah.
Check it out on the Weather Channel and you'll see what we're talking about. Death Valley just had like
Oh yeah, I think they
126
just
or
broke a
something.
record or something.
Needles,
Yeah.
California just had
130.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's insane. So the garage is probably out of the question for a few more recording
Oh, you know, it
sessions.
still hasn't kept me from turning bright red and looking like I'm about to burst into flames, and that's because I'm sitting next to a window in an air-conditioned house. I'm sitting next to a window.
Thermostat's at 72
There
degrees.
you go.
Yet, okay, he's still red. just noticed the cap's kind of interesting. It's not only is it the state of Wisconsin,
It looks like a thumb.
it's a thumbprint actually. I don't know if that's going to show up really or not. But,
You see those green lines on top of the gold there, the greenish. Yeah, that's the thumbprint.
So that's kind of different.
Yeah.
And it does sound good. I mean, what you just read off
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. But like you just said, man, come on. You don't put it on the bottle and you don't have it on your website.
Exactly.
This information about the beer, I'm like, that's dropping the ball. Come on.
It is. It is. If you expect people to,
So I hope it's a good
brewers
beer.
are supposed to be part of the whole, drink responsibly, drive safely, don't drink and drive thing. And if that's going to be part of the mentality, then putting the ABV on your bottle is very, very important. With all this other crap that you guys put on here, you couldn't put an ABV. That's all I'm saying.
For all you people out there who actually have a plan when you go out to drink of like how many ABVs per beer times however many beers you're going to allow yourself to operate any kind of machinery. And this is kind of a thing. I mean, this is 2017. We shouldn't have to be pleading, especially for a website, to have that information about your beer. It's preposterous, like the Tigers.
Anyway, so shall we crack?
I absolutely want to crack this beer open for you.
This is, I believe, the second
nice smell.
Wisconsin craft beer that Chris has sent our way.
I believe so, yeah.
Chris is in Indiana. Is in Indiana, and usually he does send us Hoosier beers. This will not be part of the Hoosier beer series. It is TigerSox, but because this beer does come from Wisconsin. But let's face it, a lot of people say Wisconsin is where American beer started. So particularly the craft movement.
So Laverne Shirley worked.
That's true.
Shots Brewery in Milwaukee.
If only we had a glove to put on top of this bottle,
Way better. I can put the bag on it.
There we go.
It would entirely cover the whole bottle.
Give us any game, we'll lose it.
That's the Tigers. The Tigers theme song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Runs allowed this inning by our horrible pitching staff. Okay, so we got some new glassware, by the way.
You did quite a beer trip.
I took a road trip
through the Grand Canyon State
with family and friends, and we went to the Grand Canyon, and right outside, if you're familiar with the area, is Flagstaff, Arizona, not too far away. And for a city that's really not all that large, they have, I believe, 6 breweries, and I was very pleasantly surprised with that.
Do you want to speak any about these 2 specific ones?
Absolutely. I made it to 4 of the 6. I didn't have time for the other 2. I wanted to. Now, this was actually the first one we went to, was Beaver Street Brewery, and I always pick up a glass from the 4 breweries I went to. So in the next review, you'll see the next 2 glasses. Anyway, really cool brewery, small scale. They actually had they have a pretty well established and well known pizza menu there, and pizza oven, wood fired pizza. So they've got a reputation for that, and they got a reputation for their IPA they make there is called Flagstaff IPA. And it's actually won 3 medals at the Great American Beer Festival, which is a huge deal. To win 1 is cool. To win 3 for the same beer is that's pretty intense. Yeah. So, and of course I had one, and it was one of the better IPAs I've had in a while. It was fantastic. So, but we're going to conquer this beer. And that was Lumberyard Brewing. Really cool place. They got a really neat outdoor area to sit, and of course it's Flagstaff, so a hot day there was about 83. While we were there, it was 83 was the high. So you can still go out and enjoy the sun, or a nice, I don't want to say brisk, but a nice cool evening. And they had pretty good year. We kind of rushed when we were there, though. I had time to do a flight, but I couldn't even tell you the 6 beers I ordered. Nor do we have time. We have to focus on this one. But both of those breweries, that's why I got the glasses. If I walked in and I thought it was a terrible brewery, I probably wouldn't have spent any money on the bling, but I needed.
I got you. Yeah.
So, what do you think of the aroma on this boy here?
Oh, getting lots of toffee and coffee. I would say the description of the color is right on the money. It is, in fact, a ruby black.
Intense alcohol. I know.
Yeah, it's like an alcohol. It's not an imperial stout, but it sure smells like one. You're absolutely right.
For an ABV that's 6, would you say 6?
6.2 according to Untappd.
It smells stronger than that. Wow. Yeah,
I am definitely smelling the oatmeal though. Now the more air gets to it, and I get a little aeration, nucleation with the stirring, the swirling. Certainly now getting that Wisconsin oats rising up.
This may be one of the more alcoholic smelling stouts I've ever had that was
It's
not
true.
imperial.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Interesting.
Cheers.
I didn't pour you.
No, yeah, you did.
Good Lord.
Cheers. I have a wider
Selfish
face than mine, so.
bastard than I am.
Indeed.
Cheers.
That is definitely roasty.
It is. It's very
I think all the malts were roasted.
Smoky and roasty.
Smoky and roasty, and a little bit of cocoa, just a hint of cocoa, but not overly. Wouldn't go so far as to call it a chocolate stout or a chocolate oatmeal stout.
No. It's almost like I'm getting the coffee in it, but it actually feels like whole bean coffee. It's like it just kind of comes across as more of a whole bean coffee.
And an espresso stout, or as opposed to say a coffee stout.
It's actually really good. It's nice and creamy, kind of vanilla element to it.
I'm getting the alcohol throat burn of a higher ABV.
That's
beer
what's weird
too.
about this beer. It's like, are you sure it's
well,
6?
you know, no, I'm not. Frankly, I've gone onto Untapped and I've seen ABVs and looked at a bottle in my hand and gone, wow, you guys got that completely wrong. And I don't mean Untapped, the people who put together the app. I'm talking about whoever first entered it completely screwed up on what the ABV was. And let's face it, it's very possible that somebody sitting at home with your gravity thermometer figured out that it was 6.1. Maybe their reading wasn't the best. I mean, that's
true.
Let's face it, when we have to figure out the ABV on our own, that's kind of what the boat you put us in.
It's just kind of strange of all the beers that you and I have sat through and reviewed, and some of them on camera, some are not. We've had a lot of stouts, and I don't remember if there's ever been a stout that's 6.2. This is very strange because it's a good tasting beer. A stout lover will drink this beer. I would swear it's a 9 or something. Though. It just seems like it smells.
It does. It smells alcohol. We got the alcohol burn. There's at least a medium high mouthfeel, and then
Plus, I mean, we're having it room temp, which to me always amplifies all flavor.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of it, but not enough for us to both be sitting here like, are you sure it's only 6.2?
I'm thinking. I'm leaning like a 3.75.
Yeah, I don't think I can give it a 4.
I can't give it quite a 4 yet either.
I like stouts, but I'm a little more skeptical and finicky when it comes to stouts.
What's funny is the alcohol smell, normally on even like a higher ABV beer, sort of dissipates. This doesn't. I mean, the longer it goes, the more scotchy it's smelling.
Exactly. It's almost like a Scotch ale is at the bottom of the glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
It doesn't have a wee heavy like peat kind of thing going on. Not that, but it's just very malty and smoky and robust. And I think coffee fans will dig it. I think stout.
Oh yeah, stout fans are going to dig this beer. That's for sure.
It's just kind of a strange beer because of the aroma and the flavors. It has more alcohol.
And I also think this is I think this would be a good one for beer cocktails, in particular the sweet beer cocktail route, the more dessert beer cocktail route. This would make a great stout float. Honestly, I think this would be a good one for a stout float because it's a good flavor, but it's not an overbearing flavor. So this mixed with a vanilla ice cream would be, I would say, just about right.
See, when I do this, I'm like, I almost want to go get some vanilla ice cream.
As you can see, the head, it's really not going much of anywhere. I mean, it's still, after all this drinking and swirling, we still got a fairly resilient head there.
You know, stouts that a head of a stout anyway usually tapers off, but it usually doesn't leave at this point. You know, that little what, quarter of an inch maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But a good beer overall. I would agree with you on your score. 3.75, I think is a good score for us.
We are in the final minute, and we want to give thanks once again to Mr. Gone V6, Chris, our buddy in Indiana, for hooking us up.
As usual.
And I promise you, I'm going to be getting hitched. The Blue Collar Beer Gourmet is going to have a Blue Collar Beer mistress.
It's getting married next month.
And after that, Chris, you can expect to see some beers coming your way. We got the final 30 seconds. Go Red Sox, go Tigers. Drink good beer.
And don't break the bank.
Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers, everybody. Bye.